Also, I might tell you all this, prolonged hypertension is a major hypertension. There's nothing good about hypertension. Hypertension will lead to kidney failure. It's one of the main causes for kidney failure is hypertension. You know, the silent killer. And so we'll get into the urinary system just a little bit. We're going to kind of go through it. That's kind of a internet view shot, I think, right there. Let me find my little signal, right, my little deal right here. Get into that, and of course you recognize some of that. You recognize the aorta, you recognize the inferior vena cava, you recognize the kidney a little bit, you recognize the ureter, the bladder. It doesn't show the urethra there, but the urethra goes to the outside. That's the urinary system. The urinary system, though, plays a very important role. And one of the things that doctors, when a baby is born, and they mash around that baby like that, the doctor's little newborn, they mash it all in here. One thing they're kind of, come on in. One thing they kind of feel for in an abnormal, they can pick out an abnormal situation as far as kidneys are concerned, like a big lump there. They can tell that. All right, but anyway, right here, the kidneys play a very important role. Y'all remember this word from 24:1, the word homeostasis. Homeostasis is steady state or constant internal environment. That's homeostasis. And that's where the internal environment, everything stays basically the same. That's homeostasis. We know that. Claude Bernard, who was a physiologist, said that homeostasis is the key to physiology. The key to anatomy and physiology is homeostasis. But anyway, and the kidneys are maintaining a homeostasis is a primary function of the urinary system. That's a primary function. And people need to really get conscientious about regulating blood pressure. I cannot emphasize to you the importance, and you're shaking your head, yes, Liz, right? Balboa, right? Liz said she's doing this because she works for the gastroenterologist, and she's doing that about regulating blood pressure. And folks, just like with the PSA test, with a prostate-specific antigen test, or with like these two old guys I knew. One of them wasn't old. One of them was younger than I. The truck driver who had the colon cancer. He was too stupid to get things. He was bleeding, rectal bleeding. I mean, it was horrible. So his wife said, the fellow, when he finally, quote, as they say in the country, went to the doctor. When he finally went to the doctor, everything was too late. Stuff had spread. He died. But the other fellow was older than me with a prostate. He just ignored it. He said, "Oh, you'll be all right." It wasn't all right. It killed him. All right. So, but anyway, the kidney situation, in maintaining homeostasis is a primary function of the kidney, as you'll see in a minute, of the urinary system. Functions will depict some homeostatic here. Well, functions will, of course. All right. Now, right here, the kidneys are the most important organs of excretion. They definitely are. They're the most important organs of excretion. However, are there organs of the body like the respiratory, the integumentary, and the digestive aid and the scrotal function? I just put that down. I'm not going to ask you that. You can figure that the kidneys are the most important organs of excretion, which you can figure that out. All right. Now, right here, summary of urine function. Now, this is what I tweaked today, y'all. This is going to be different. I'm just telling you right now. This is going to be different than what's on your sheet. And I'll give it, and because I looked at that and I said, what was I thinking when I wrote that summary? I don't know where I pulled that out. I must pull that out of my rear end, that other deal. Because what I did was, I made this fit better, made it more true to the situation. Well, the first one is the same as what you've got. Excretion of nitrogen substances. Now, if you think of nitrogen substances, what do you think? What comes to mind if you think of non-protein nitrogen? What might come to your mind? Okay. Okay, non-protein nitrogen, that's urea. Also, getting rid of, there's also some stuff like this. Get rid of a certain amount of this, but most of this, NH3, most of that is converted to urea. But not, if you see NPN, always remember non-protein nitrogen. Now, number 2 is going to be different than what you have on your sheet. Number 2 says regulation of blood ions. Regulation of ions. There's a lot of active transport that goes on here. I didn't write the word active transport, but I say regulating of ions. That's sodium, potassium, calcium. These are just a few. Chlorine or chloride and HP3O. In the older version of Windows, I can do the subscript and superscript real easy. The old edition of Word, Microsoft Word, I can't do with this. I put it on my little laptop like Adrian has, and I can do that with. I have the Windows 2000 something or 2003. It's much more. It's a little bit more user friendly. But anyway, regulation of these ions, and a lot of this regulation of ions, everybody, is through the active transport mechanism. But you know, in the sodium potassium pump, the kidneys do that. They regulate these things. All right, what is? All right, I was reading this morning, hearing this morning, this cholera problem has spread through Haiti, through the capital, Port-au-Prince. It's really a major issue over there, and people are dying. You know, a key thing they die from is total electrolyte imbalance. You know, cholera, rice water stools. I mentioned that to you in class. We mentioned that in that microbiology for sure. Rice water stools. You know, and I think I mentioned that in this class the other day, didn't I? Didn't I ask you if you've ever cooked rice, huh?
In Haiti?
Uh-huh.
The cholera?
Mm-hmm.
What's going on there?
Mm-hmm. It's not getting better.
That's pretty interesting.
It's not getting better. Yes, it is interesting. And it's not getting better. And those children, those people, you know, drinking water out of ditches, you know, just being very unhygienic. Is that a good word? Unhygienic? Whatever. But anyway, regulation of blood ions, that is important. Now look at this one right here. You don't have this. Some of these you don't have down now. I really did tweak this morning. I got here at 6. I usually get here at my office about 6 every morning. Usually 6 or it's 10 after. You would be here by 6, but I go by and get a paper up at the little corner store on Luella and Spencer Highway. There's a little corner Conoco up there, something. I always run up there real quick and get a paper. But I'm usually here by 6, and so I got here and I started looking at this about 6:10 this morning when I got here. And regulation of pH. In other words, the kidneys will work to, and that word is spelled wrong, that was early this morning, excrete. They get rid of hydrogen, excrete hydrogen, and conserve bicarbonate. That's supposed to be excrete, E-X-C-R-E-T-E. I got that spelled wrong. We need to tweak that. I'll tweak that later. So they need to, so regulation of pH, get rid of excess hydrogen ions, conserve the bicarbonate ion. So regulation of pH, the kidneys do that. That's really important there. Very important. I have another one that's different from what you have. I have this one. This is the kidneys. And remember, we went through with you the other day. Didn't I go through with you the other day about the renin-angiotensinogen pathway and blood pressure regulation? Did I go through that with y'all? I will, didn't I? Well, I will. I will later on in this. The kidneys have a very important role in regulating blood pressure. The kidneys produce a substance called renin. And this substance called, well, I thought I went through that, y'all. Showed that to y'all the other day. Did I not? Okay, well, I will. But they play a very important role in regulating blood pressure, the kidneys, through the renin. In fact, for right now, you might put right here, in regulation of blood pressure, regulation of BP, primarily through what's called, which I'll explain this later because you need to know this. I'll explain it later. Primarily through, I'll just put T-H-R-U, through the renin, R-E-N-I-N, renin-angio, A-N-G-I-O-T-E-N-S-I-N, renin-angiotensin mechanism. And that's all you need. I'm not going to go into that with y'all right now. I thought I did. Okay, good. Oh, I thought I did that. Okay, good deal. Thank y'all.